Yes, we spoke about you. And you are G, what is this? Oh, so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you for the dinner. Just settle for a minute. You want to open that? Yes, we will be discussing Sutra 1.17 and 18. Yes, any questions from yesterday? But anyway, I'm going to dive deep into it. I cannot see all of you. If you can, just possibly switch on your camera. So from your expression, I know whether you're able to understand it or not. Yes. We will begin from...
Sariji, I am at work. I will stay with the
no
camera
problem.
off.
Yes, yes.
Open
But if
space button.
you don't recall anything, just give me a thumbs up. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sutra 16. Tatparam Purusha Khyater Gunavaitrushyam. Tatparam Purusha Khyater Gunavaitrushyam. So we were discussing the types of samadhi, and before that, what was the step right before we entered samadhi? Purusha Khyati. And what was Purusha Khyati? It was the knowledge of separation of Purusha from Prakriti. Slight difference. Means what is happening here, Purusha and Prakriti? The common things that we are seeing outside, which interest us. From gross level, our awareness has come to the subtle level. Yes, so there is discrimination that what I'm going through right now or whatever I'm seeing outside is not real. So this stage, Purusha Khyatir Gunavaitrushyam, is also known as Paravairagya. Just write it. We've discussed Vashikara. We discussed 4 types of Vairagya. Yesterday we revised them also. The first 3 are known as Apara Vairagya. The last one is known as Paravairagya. We've already studied. Just write the technical term for it in your notes. First 3 types, Apara Vairagya, and the 4th type, Paravairagya. In Paravairagya, we are able to have the separation between the Prakriti at least. We don't know what Purusha is, but we know that the objects that we see around have stopped giving us anything fruitful. We are not able to derive the same amount of enjoyment out of those objects, and it is a result of yatna, abhyasa. The vairagya has developed because of constant abhyasa that we have been doing. Yes. Now, after that, we talked about the asampragyat and sampragyat samadhi. Sampragyat we will talk today. We talked asampragyat we will talk today. We talked about the sampragyat samadhi. Just right in this stage in Purusha Khyati, this is the first time you experience heightened sattva or extreme lightness at the level of mind. So there is no tamas. You start experiencing, you don't feel angry at all. Your response to objects outside has drastically changed. Things that would have triggered you many times before, they no more have any power. So these are the subtle changes. You feel that I have changed in the most difficult situations also. My response has now changed. So sattva has increased and rajas and tamas has come down. All 3 are still active, but this is the first time you experience sattva has increased. Your response has become naturally positive to whatever comes along. Nothing disturbs the internal state. Now, we will progress on Sutra 17. Yesterday we have discussed. Let's just have it in a more structured way with little technical terms and then we progress on to the Vitarka Vichara Ananda Asmita
Ananda Asmita
Rupa Anugamat Sampragjataha
Rupa
Tarka Vichara Ananda Asmita
Ananta Asmita
Rupa Anugamat
Rupa Maganata
Sampragjataha. So now the seeker asks, how will I know that I've attained the state of samadhi? How does this samadhi look like? Yes, the seeker asks, how does samadhi look like? What is the sign that I am nearing the state of samadhi? So we discussed about vitarka, vichara. Yes. Now in vitarka and vichara, make two divisions. Savitarka, nirvitarka, savichara, nirvichara. Try to have a flow chart like diagram. First write Sampragyat Samadhi. Below Sampragyat, write 4. Out of the 4, Vitarka Vichara, make 2. Savitarka, Nirvitarka, Savichara, Nirvichara. And Ananda Asmita, write Sa Ananda and Sa Asmita or Sa Asmita. Savitarka, Nirvitarka, Savichara, Nirvichara, Sa Ananda, and which is the third, and fourth is Sa Asmita. So what is happening here? In these 4, we will see now with the help of an example, one narrative, so that you are able to remember this for a long. So once there was a person, yes, named as Nathuram. Nathuram comes to Rishikesh. In extreme Vairagya, goes, meets his guru and says, I want to embrace monkhood. So the teacher says, okay, now you have come. He says, I have intense dispassion. I have developed extreme Vairagya. Now I want to explore further what happens after this stage. I'm no more able to enjoy things that normal people do, but I want to know where this will lead me. So is there a higher experience than not able to enjoy things at the material world? So the teacher says, okay, I will give you a guru mantra. Yes, I will give you a mantra. Just do japa of it. Try to train the mind to be on the japa. So 10 days Nathuram is going through that japa. Now he has embraced monkhood. After 10 days, he comes to the teacher and he says, the mantra is not working for me. So the teacher says, why? What happened? He says, even when I am in the mantra, I'm still able to see my buffalo. Since she died, I had taken care of her right from where she was a calf. I ensured that I nurtured her and she was so dear to me. My pet was extremely dear to me. So when I lost her, it was the only place from where I received love. So when I lost her, I had no interest in any other object. So I just thought of embracing monkhood. I gave up everything else because we shared a long time together and she's not there. So when you're telling me to chant a mantra, all I'm seeing is the buffalo. So now the teacher says, okay, I give you a new mantra because teacher has realized what has happened. His mind is into some object. Yes. So teacher says, okay, you chant a mantra known as Bhe Soham. So to the mantra Soham, teacher adds Bheso. And Bheso means a buffalo. Yes. So teacher says, start chanting the mantra Bhesoham. Yes, Bhesoham. I am the buffalo. What is the meaning of the mantra? Soham means I am that. Bhesoham means I am the buffalo. So teacher says you start chanting that. So Nathuram starts chanting the mantra, Bhaisoham, 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 Bhaisoham. He's very happy because this is where the mind is. I am the buffalo. Yes, she is here right with me. Yes. After 12 days, the teacher realizes that Nathuram is no more coming out for lunch and dinner. And he just calls out to his room and says, are you chanting properly? He says, yes, I feel like I have become the buffalo herself. I feel her presence within me. I feel her in my every bit of existence. So the teacher says, very good. So what do you want to eat? You want to eat grass or you want to eat the normal food, chapati? He doesn't reply. The teacher sends some rotis inside chapatis. He's still meditating on Besoma. See that the attachment with that jiva. He's continuously chanting Besoma. And he's feeling bliss. Even when the buffalo is not there, he's feeling that there is proximity with that object of meditation. So now the teacher comes again to him and says, it's time that you experience more. Yes, I will change the mantra now. So what you do as you're chanting this, chant Bhaisoham Brahma. Bhaisoham Brahma. Add one more word to it. Bhaisoham Brahma. So he says, okay, which means I am attaining samadhi. Teacher says you practice. Yes, you have attained samadhi. You have lost the sense of yourself. You feel you're the buffalo, means you have attained samadhi. Add Bhaisoham Brahma to it. Now Nathuram another 20 days starts chanting Bhaisoham Brahma, Bhaisoham Brahma. But he doesn't know what this Brahma is. So his mind starts thinking, what is this Brahma? Why am I chanting this? Why am I chanting every day? Every minute as he's chanting, slowly he forgets the Bhaiso. Because Bhaiso is known to him. So the Bhaiso drops. What remains? Soham. Yes, so also drops. Just remains Aham Brahma. After a while. So what he's chanting? From Bhaisoham Brahma, he starts chanting Aham Brahma, Aham Brahma. Still he doesn't know what is Brahma. After 20 days, he loudly starts shouting. He says, who's Brahma? Tell me what is Brahma now. Means what has happened? Mind has dropped the object, Bhaiso. And he's chanting Brahma. So he comes to the teacher. He says, I am able to say Aham Brahma, but I don't know what is Brahma. Give me the knowledge of Brahma. What Brahma is. What do I do? I don't know what Brahma is. So teacher says, no knowledge for you right now. Just add one more term to this. Aham Brahma. Along with that, add Asmi. Aham Brahmasmi. Just chant this. Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi. So Nathuram starts doing that. From Sampragyat Samadhi, Samadhi changes to Sampragyat Samadhi and attains moksha. 3 years of practicing Aham Brahmasmi. But to reach Aham Brahmasmi, first he had to get himself free of Beso. So what does the teacher do? In Savitarka Samadhi, what happens in Savitarka Samadhi? Any object that the seeker likes. You like a person, meditate on that person completely, day and night. So whatever is the object that the person likes, you have to start meditating on that object. Right. So he had to get rid of Beso. So even if the mind, sometimes, for example, somebody visits Kashi. Yes, visits Kashi, doesn't know where the temple of Kashi Vishwanath is. Sees one Shiva temple, first time visiting Kashi. Goes inside thinking this is Kashi Vishwanath. So that bhava is there. What is there in Savitarka Samadhi? Bhava or emotion towards one object is very strong. Yes, Savitarka Samadhi will have Shabda, Artha, Jnana, all the three. Shabda, Artha, jnana. Means you know the object completely. Savitarka samadhi. It may not be any object, but this is one object that your mind has held on to, and because of that you have dropped everything else. You're just constantly thinking about. Second is known as nirvitarka samadhi, where shabda falls off. Only artha and jnana is there, which means you're experiencing something, but you're not able to tell it in words. You can no more put your experience in words. The awareness has penetrated at a level where you no more know how to express your spiritual experience. This is known as the nirvitarka samadhi. So in same savitarka, nirvitarka, in savitarka, right, what is the difference in savitarka? Bhava is there, intense attachment with the object, one object. There is no attachment with anything else. And this object you have chosen as object for meditation. Nirvitarka, bhava is still there, but the shabda does not matter anymore. There is knowledge of that object that remains. You are not able to express it. So what happened? He dropped bhaisoham and added bhaisoham brahma at this stage. Yes, that took him to savichar samadhi. Nathuram went further to savichar samadhi. What happens in savichar samadhi? From the grossness of the object, subtleness is felt. So he no more visualized the buffalo. He felt like he had become one with the buffalo itself. The object of his meditation and him both had become one now. There was no separation with that thought of the object. We saw that in Sampragyat Samadhi, support is needed. A seed is needed. Yes, what was the support? He took first the support of the thing he liked the most, and slowly he added a spiritual mantra. The teacher guided him. That dropped when in Savichara state, where he no more thought of the buffalo separate to him. In Savichara, you don't feel the object is separate to you, but you start becoming that object. You feel oneness with the object. In Nirvichara, what happens? Now the mind drops the object slowly. It starts fading away. The thought of the object starts fading away and you move towards Sananda. So because of the buffalo, he started experiencing bliss in himself. He knows himself. At this point, what do we know? The Indriyas, Gyan Indriya and Karma. So first time he realized that I am happy. I am in a state of bliss, not just happy. I am in a state of bliss. This bliss is not based on the buffalo, for example. Now there is separation. There is a complete drop of that thought. And he just starts experiencing that I am in a state of bliss, which is known as Sananda. What has happened in this stage? The support is there. Yes, the support is still there. The impression of what he started with, the meditation, or the first stage is still there. But it's not again and again becoming the reason for his state of samadhi. It is slowly fading away completely to a level where he's realizing his own self in bliss for the first time. Feeling extremely joyous. From this state, further moves to the state of sasmita, the state of I amness. I am the bliss. Bliss also drops. What remains? I am. I am blissful. I am happy. I am sad. This observation also drops. All that remains is the complete awareness that I am. I am someone. I am somebody who is internalized completely. I am somebody who is separated completely from outside, from the environment. So from the object experiencing oneness with the object. So dissolve object and the seeker become one. Then to the state where object slowly starts fading away, and there is understanding of one's own nature. And from there, how the nature is, that also drops off. Only I am there. I am the experiencer, observer, that remains. So these are the 6 types of samadhi already expressed in the Sutra 7. How many types of sampragyat samadhi? 6 types of sampragyat samadhi. Let's see if there are any questions you can ask. You can write that in the last stage, Sasmita Samadhi, Vishay ka abhog means you absolutely drop that topic. Something which you felt you could not come over or get over, that thought is absolutely dropped by the mind. Not in a negative sense. In the sense of dissolved, oneness. I am not separate from that object. So you are not doing anything external. What is happening? Object has merged with inside. You have taken its understanding completely. It's not you drop the object, you actually dissolve the object. And with that help of object, you realize yourself. Sometimes people say somebody has a lot of emotional attachment with someone. Yes, you might say that mother might have it with a child, a partner may have it with their spouse. That's why we say in karma yoga, see the God in that person. You like it, okay. You don't like anything spiritual, whatever you like, try to attain samadhi. That's the best way for a beginner. And slowly you start altering. Slowly you start changing. You become that. You become what you like. Once you become what you like, it's no more separate from you. So there is complete absorption in this state.
May I ask where or what if there is an attachment that there is no like about this?
Means
If there is an attachment with somebody, but there isn't much of likes about
means bhava is not there, emotion is not there. You're seeing this.
but so if there is an attachment, a strong attachment that you like and you dislike. I mean,
No, then it's not strong attachment.
But-
means if you experience surrender, then it is the strong attachment. Where you say nothing can happen to me. I have become beyond my ego. How is this object helping us? This object helps us dissolve our ego. Where it doesn't matter what that person is, how that person treats us, whatever it is. We say I am in complete surrender. Mera abhi kuch nahi ho sakta. Nothing can be done with me. I am wasted. You accept this. So you decide how to treat me. I am in complete surrender. We see this in Bhakti Yoga. This exact what I discussed right now is the path of Bhakti Yoga.
This emotion has to be positive, like
Positive. Yes, yes. Not negative. Yes.
I
So
think that's what she means, like and dislike. It's not like, but what if it's an emotion?
no, not the emotion. Because what we saw in the previous sutra, how must the abhyas be? With a positive mind. So any thought which will increase the sattva in the state of mind, not rajas, will not bring a string of thoughts, but will bring you peace. So this object, you can make this object a person also. That's absolutely fine. That much flexibility we see. If animal, a beso means a buffalo. If buffalo can be the object of meditation, then anything can be the object of meditation. But the idea is to train the mind to be in surrender with at least one object where we surpass our ego, where we accept nothing can be done in this case. All my intelligence I have to keep aside. There is bhava, pure bhava or emotion that becomes the strength. And slowly from that, from a bhava or emotional attachment on a gross object, we take it to subtle object, to our body. From our body, then we take it to all the other existing. Yes. Now you feel this sutra is correctly understood? Nothing remains. I have written a commentary here. I've written people who are dog lovers can actually attain this samadhi, people close to their pets. I don't know why I have written it, but if you feel you're lucky, means at least you have some place where you feel bhava or emotion or bhakti. What is having a pet? Or having a person you love? It's bhakti only. Bhakti or being very devoted to children. Therefore, it's always said that for a mother, she doesn't need to go and do any separate tapas or any other austerities or practice because that devotion is naturally there for her. She just has to cultivate it. Now, how to cultivate? Sutra next 18. Virama pratyaya अभ्यास पूर्वः संस्कार शेषो अन्यः विराम प्रत्यय अभ्यास पूर्वः संस्कार शेषो अन्यः. So now the seeker says, okay, I have been able to attain Sampragyat Samadhi with the help of this thought. What is the next step? Means I can realize I am. But who I am, that I have not realized. My state, I am blissful or happy is realized. I am is realized. But who I am, what exactly I am, that I have not yet realized. So how do I progress into this? See, in Sanskritam there is a Bhashyam. Bhashyam says, Atha samprajat samadhi kim upaya kim swabhavo veti. The student asks, says Patanjali, that then in asampragyat samadhi, kim bhavo, is there a bhavo or not in that samadhi? And kim upayo asti, what is the way to attain that samadhi? What is the way to attain next stage? Now seekers are trying to ask Sage Patanjali, like all of us curiously, a child would ask, then what happens next? Then what happens? Then what happens? Because they want to know, how does a yogi realize? So one after the other, okay, we have reached that I am, but who I am, how to realize that they are asking. Let's see. सर्ववृत्ति प्रत्यस्यमये संस्कार शेषो निरोधश्चित्तस्य समाधि संप्रज्ञातः तस्य परम वैराग्यम उपाय सालंबनो यहाभ्यासत साधनाय न कल्पित इति विराम प्रत्ययो निर्वस्तुक आलंबनी क्रियते सच अर्थशून्यः तद्भावस्पूर्वः चित्तम निरालंबन अभाव प्राप्त इवमेव भवतीत एषे निर्बीजिह समाधि संप्रज्ञातः असंप्रज्ञात. So now let's see what happens. The key word is niralamban, without any kind of support. Just write there in your notes. Asampragyat samadhi niralamban. Now this samadhi is of two types. First type, upaya pratyaya, upaya, upay, upaya pratyaya. I will write it in the notes also, but you write pratyaya, upaya pratyaya, and bhava pratyaya, bhava, upaya pratyaya, and next bhava pratyaya. What happens in this upaya pratyaya? Like in the previous one, we saw bhava was there. This bhava is converted into shraddha. I will repeat again. Bhava or emotional attachment has changed into faith and surrender. So in the first, Upaya pratyaya, asampragyat samadhi. Shraddha is very strong, that I am taken care, or I will reach where I have to. I am nearing it. What has become strong? Shraddha, or faith has become extremely strong. This person never experienced this strong faith before in one's own journey, one's own life, where the person is being directed. So, with surrender, faith has increased tremendously. And for second, bhava pratyaya, avidya, ignorance, right? Ignorance means what is happening in this stage? A seeker is able to attain the stage of samadhi, but doesn't know what Brahma is. So, what is missing? Knowledge is missing. What is missing? Knowledge is missing because there is no shravana of this experience at all, that there is something known as Brahma. So, therefore, what does he do? He says, what is Brahma? Tell me that. Nathuram says, what is Brahma? You tell me that first. So, he was still better than us because without knowing Brahma, Aham Brahmasmi, Aham Brahmasmi, attain Brahma. But for us, we must know who or what is Brahman. Brahman means the self, the Purusha in this case. So, able to attain Samadhi, but doesn't know there is something known as Purusha or Prakriti. So, what to do in that stage? Will not be able to progress. So, in the first state, faith is there. In first kind of Samadhi, faith is very, very strong. So, is able to retain the Samadhi. But in the next stage, is not able to progress because there is no knowledge. Avidya is still there. There is no knowledge of Purusha. And this is very common. Some people who have a lot of knowledge find it difficult to attain Samadhi. And some people attain Samadhi easily, but mind is not able to have any kind of knowledge, is unable to comprehend knowledge. So therefore, we see sage Patanjali advises both asana pranayam also. So you're working on the state of meditation, dharana, dhyan, samadhi together, and you're studying the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra also. So when you're studying the text also and you're also practicing the text, it's very easy for you to attain the next step. If this is not done, then the seeker may attain the state of samadhi, but will not progress. Will not realize. Progress means what? There will not be moksha, mukti, or separation of Purusha and Prakriti. Will not realize oneself as consciousness or Purusha. This will not happen. Rest, samadhi will happen. But samadhi with support only will happen, which is known as sampragya. Will reach till I am. But who I am, what I am, without the support will not happen. So when a seeker studies the scriptures and is also practically practicing that every day, with how should it be practiced? With consistency. So when that is happening, whatever is studied is in the mind. So naturally, when the state of samadhi is there, already stored knowledge is realized. Therefore, we call it realization, self-realization. Already stored knowledge converts into wisdom. I am able to have this experience. This is the experience what I studied. So immediately it comes to. This is what happens in this, from this samadhi. Not in this samadhi, from this samadhi. Otherwise, what happens in asampragyat samadhi? Two types. Faith is there, samadhi is still there. But with faith, which means a person is feeling extremely positive, is able to take, say, Hare Krishna throughout life by being in that meditative state of samadhi. But the knowledge of the self is, therefore, from that state reaches the bhava pratyaya. Practice is excellent. Attain the goal of yoga, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Attained both the kinds of samadhi. Therefore, sage Patanjali never wrote the goal of yoga in the 8 limbs. He said this 8 limbs is a path. If you are able to achieve knowledge also along with practical practice, then you may attain Kaivalya. But if I write that you study also with practice, nobody will practice yoga. So he wrote the goal of yoga separately as Kaivalya. But how to attain Kaivalya from Samadhi? It's only the scriptures. To know about what Kaivalya is, to know what it is, it becomes easy to understand the experience that we are having, or to meditate on that experience. That am I the Brahma? I am the Brahma. When I say I am the Brahma, naturally comes to my mind, I am limitless, I am formless, I am everywhere, I am consciousness, I have expanded, and all these attributes of Brahma. But if I don't know who I am, then it becomes challenging. So let's see the Samskrita Bhashya, and then we will look at the screen also in its English translation. Niralamban you have written. Virama means no vrittis. Virama pratyaya, vritti ka abhav, or no vrittis. What are the vrittis? Pramana viparyaya, vikalpa nidra, and smriti. These all 5 vrittis are no more there. Pramana is also not there, right knowledge, because knowledge is not there. So the knowledge which had to be dropped has dropped off, but there is no correct knowledge in this state, which means there is still no moksha attained at this stage. Abhyasa purvaha. Abhyasa purvaha means what was the previous abhyasa? Paravairagya. Vritti is dropped. That is virama pratyaya abhyasa purva because of the previous abhyasa, which was paravairagya. Samskara shesho anyaha. Samskara are still there in this state of samadhi. It's not liberation. Still there is a possibility of rebirth. Samskara is still there. Why samskara is still there? Because that thought I have not been able to realize. Something incomplete is there, is still there. That I have still not attained the fullness of this practice. Something is incomplete. This thought results in again. Because the question is still, but the person is absolutely transformed. Normally in this stage, whenever there is rebirth, it is seen, people embrace monkhood very early in life because they've already freed themselves from all the vrittis, so it becomes very easy for them. Now question is, will we, all of us, liberate? This question must come to you, right? So yoga is a pluralistic philosophy. Yoga talks about many purushas, individual souls. So every soul is bound to liberate at some or the other point. But how many births you have to take for that? How many times? What happens? Our present life is a gift of our vasanas of our previous. What we are doing in 24 hours repeatedly, where our mind runs, is a product of what we have been. Another narration here we have. There was once a person who was into extreme bhoga. Yes, and he was a prince, and he had a very good friend also. Both of them, they were charvakas. You understand what is charvakas? Hedonistic tendencies, enjoyment in life. That's it. That was the goal of. So one day, he likes a girl, and he becomes so, captivated by her, meditating on her thought, that he takes the birth of a girl in the next life. So he is born as the girl, which he is absolutely thinking of. So in the previous birth, he marries the girl. After marrying, immediately, due to some disease, he dies within 3 years. And upon death, the thought is in his mind that, we were married for such a short period of time. And what will you do without me? How will things be without me? So his end thought is what? The girl he has married. Next birth, he is born as the. It's in one of the Puranas and Upanishads where his friend reminds him. So in this birth, when again born, this time he is married to one of the seeker or sadhaka. And in a sadhana, again experiences the death of the husband. So from this side, he's moved on to the other side. The experience has come to the other side. Because the question was, what will happen after I die, after the husband dies? So in the next birth becomes the wife whose husband dies. And then the friend comes along. All of them were yogis, and he reminds him. He says that, why are you crying here? You left me there alone. Yes, it's been so many years to that. And he says, I don't remember who you are. But the friend is a yogi friend, but I remember who you are. Last birth, so and so happened. We were out, somewhere in some other kingdom, and you suddenly decided to see a girl and marry her. But due to some disease, you could not live. So the question was, what will the wife do after the husband dies? In this birth, you take the birth of a woman whose husband dies, and you go through that suffering. Just to understand what will happen then. So in this state also, what is happening? What will happen next is the cause of rebirth, and only that much, no other samskaras. So when the friend reminds, and is, because they are already meditators, in the next birth she has married, born as a woman, now has married a meditator, a yogi, is into sadhana, and then realizes, says yes. That this was one thought, which again was the reason of my rebirth. So as we move further, the text becomes more and more gripping. So we actually wait, okay, when is the next lesson? When we will hear what happens next in Samadhi. It happened with me. And then when I used to sit for meditation, I used to ask which Samadhi, which state I am. Then I used to go and share with Guruji. Guruji, I feel, Guru said, don't think about Samadhi, you think about very early years of. And then slowly, it improved at such a level that very recently, when I was teaching in the class, I'm realizing that while I'm teaching, I have withdrawn completely. Very recent. It's a very personal experience. Maybe I'll just share it with students. And in that state, there are tears flowing out of my eyes. It's 300 hours classroom, just 2 months back. And I'm just, it's so much of bliss that I was teaching Patanjali's Yoga Sutra only. It was Sutra number 3, Tadadrushtu Swarupe Avasthanam. And in that moment, the moment I said that sutra, it simply, as you would say, I felt that sutra from within, and there are tears flowing, and I just said, we will connect with what we have studied, just close your eyes for 5 minutes. So I could have some space to bring myself. Right? From there, I think I shared it with Vibhakarji, what happened when we met. Somehow, because I had to deliver a class at Rays also, one of our other schools, so breathing with the tears flowing, I just entered, and one of Niharji, one of the support, team member there, he was just shocked. He said, "Why are you crying?" I just said, "Just give me a glass of water. Just call my fiance and tell him that like he's ready to marry me, is he ready to take sannyas with me?" So it was such an intense state, and it was so joyful. Like I cannot express that, but while teaching, when you become so one, that experience is so profound. I can only have some words to share it with you, but this has happened not when I was sitting and meditating on that. When it starts happening, when I'm in a state where I'm completely one, where I've dropped everything, every other routine. So sometimes it may happen that you're sitting on the mat, you're progressing, but you feel no, nothing is happening, but maybe you do something you like, and in that time you attain this state. This is also a possibility. But for us just to know that there is a state like this is, so I think yes, this is all for today. If you have questions, you can ask. There may be some answers to your messages or calls which are pending from mine. Please give me one day. I'm just running busy with the wedding preparations. I will just settle maybe tomorrow. We didn't have Wednesday off this time, so it's been a little busy, and I will write to you soon. If you have any questions about this, just ask me tomorrow. But I think it's understood, both Sampragyata and Asampragyata. we will conclude today's session. Bring your palms together at the heart center. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently bow your head down. Thanks Sage Patanjali for having this knowledge, sharing it with us. Thank all your gurus, your teachers. Thank yourself for choosing this path, staying consistent. When you're ready, gently lift your head up, open your eyes, extend. Namaste. Ji. Thank you for joining us for this session. We meet again tomorrow, same time. Hari Om. Good night. Take care. Vibhagar ji, good to see you. I should
Thank
see you
you.
often. Yes. Bye.
I'll be there. Yeah.